Growing up in the 70s and 80s, every Christmas we couldn't wait because we would get the hottest toy in town. And today we're going to tell you what that hottest toy was between 1970 and the end of the 1990s. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. We're recording this live in front of a live studio audience. We've got Blue Harvest, Tommy, Kevin, the Equalizer, Chris. We've got a lot of people in here. Sorry if I missed your name, but today we're going to look at every top-selling toy from 1970 to the end of the 90s. I'll probably lose interest in the 90s, to be honest with you, but hey, it's going to be a lot of fun. I pulled up one list, and it has Star Wars Kenner figures in 1977 as the top-selling toy. And I was like, what even out in 77? So I didn't use that list. So hopefully this list will go a little bit better. So let's not waste any more of your time. Nerf, 1970 top-selling toy, Nerf. Freaking Nerf. Can you believe it? I can't. Everybody had a Nerf, though. Everybody had a Nerf. So we got Nerf. Let's see what's next. Going the wrong way here. 1971, Raggedy Ann. Well, I think it just means Weebles, not Weeble Wobbles. I called them Weeble Wobbles for years. I used to always think Junk Puppy just had a fart. Oh, sorry, guys. God, sorry about that. Whew. Let's get back to doing it live. Weeble Wobbles. You wobble them and they don't fall down. They're Weeble Wobbles. I think we all had Weebles and we all wobbled. Let's move on here. Uno, 1974. I used to play Uno at my grandma's house. She bought some Uno cards. Me and my sister would play with my grandma. I always play Uno. Me and my sister would play Uno. Everybody play Uno. You get down to one card. What do you yell? Deuce. I remember this game. Great game. Great game. Let's go to 1973 right here with Shrinky Dinks. I remember the name. I don't remember ever having Shrinky Dinks. Looks like something my sister might have had. But Shrinky Dinks. It says trace and color with pens. Who ever thought you could do something like that? Trace and color with pens. The world's getting crazy. Let's go to 1974. Skateboard was the top-selling toy. It wasn't new, was it? No. 1974. Retail price, $20 to $60. $60 for a skateboard. My mom would have said I was crazy. Let's go to oh my God, the Pet Rock, 1970. Whoever remember this was a genius, man. Took a rock, put it in a box, and sold it as a toy, I guess. Pet Rock. This box contains one genuine pedigreed Pet Rock. I ought to bring back the Pet Rock or the Jump Box. Maybe that's what I should bring back. 1976. We got Stretch Armstrong, a Kenner toy. Who didn't want to tear this thing apart so you could see what was inside? We all wanted to see what was inside Stretch Armstrong. What is in there? What's in Stretch Armstrong? I want to know. 1977, you got the Atari. Yes, this thing cost a lot of money back in the day. $200. That's a lot compared to today's money. That was a lot back then. But everybody, you wasn't cool if you didn't have Atari. Hey, you want to come into my house and play some Yard's Revenge? Yes, I do, because I got Atari. You want to come over and play Pitfall? Well, you're going to have to wait a few more years. I think that's around 1982, I think. Well, you can come over and play some Adventure. You want to play level 1, 2, or 3? I still can't beat 3 sometime. That red dragon is a menace. That red dragon, man. Did you find the invisible dot? My brother, you always want to find the invisible dot. What about Combat? And you get biplanes. Biplanes. They must have liked girl planes and boy planes. Okay, let's move on to 1978. You know it's in here. Star Wars by Kenner. This should dominate every year, right? Well, it doesn't. But 1978, Star Wars was the hottest ticket in town when it came to toys. So let's move on to 1979. Simon. Boop, 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 boop. I could never get past the first one. It beat one time, and I'd say, what? What color was it? I don't remember. Oh, this is the most stressful thing in my life. Simon. Let's start off the 80s with Rubik's Cube. Turn it this way, turn it that way, turn it everywhere you can, because it's the Rubik's Cube. I could get one color, and it used to impress a lot of the girls in school. I could get one color. And then this kid named Jimmy came. He's only there for about a couple months, and Jimmy could get every color. Jimmy knew the secret. I didn't like Jimmy. I was the one color bandit. Everyone came to me to get one color, except for Rebecca. Rebecca used to tear all apart and put it back together. We caught on what she was doing. But Jimmy, he could do it. He had a book. I had a book tell you how to do it, and I couldn't do it. I had the book and still couldn't do it. My brother could do it. My sister could do it. I saw a guy on Real People do it with his dang feet, and I still couldn't do it. So let's go on to 1981 here with HeMan. Now, why they use the naked picture of HeMan, I'll never know. I'll never know. I don't know who wrote this, but you got HeMan. Right, man, I tell you, 83, 81, I don't think HeMan was top seller in 81. I don't think this is right. But we'll go with it. I think it's about 83 when HeMan really took off, and I had HeMan. Got to about 83, 84. Put up my Return of the Jedi, put up my Star Wars, and bought HeMan. Ooh, sad day, sad day. 1982, I bet my buddy Russ had these. I know I didn't. My Little Pony. Get out of here with that crap. And that box right there isn't vintage. That's Hasbro era. That's not. No. 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 How about 1983? Cabbage Patch Kids. Moms was beating up other moms. It gave new meaning to the word soccer mom. Yeah, it wasn't soccer we could with your feet. It was a sucker when you punched them in the face. Had to get the Cabbage Patch. I always hated Cabbage Patch dolls. I hated their weird looking shoes. Look at them in this picture. They're just like round. They're like egg shoes. 1984, of course, a lot of you loved it. The Transformers. Now, I've talked about it before. Never watched the cartoon. Never saw the movies. Never really got into Transformers. I think by 84, I was still in the He-Man. Shouldn't have been, but I was still playing with He-Man. And I know I had the gun. The gun one I liked was like a P-38 or something. I loved that one. And a friend had the 18-wheeler, and it was pretty cool. But I had some little mini ones, too. I remember I had some little mini ones, and it was really hard to put together. I could never get it to transform good. It used to bother me. Let's go to 1985 with Teddy Ruxpin. Ooh, I had a friend that had a brother that used to like put his Metallica cassette tape into Teddy Ruxpin. It was creepy. It was funny. I was going to say something about a song from them, but I can't think of nothing they sing right now, so we'll just move on. Teddy Ruxpin. When you didn't have a friend. Nintendo, of course, 1986. I can remember the first time I saw Nintendo. There was a girl up the road from me there. Her name was Katrina. I walked to her house. I used to walk up about her house, hoping she'd be inside and invite me inside. Me and my friend Nick walked up there and we was walking around, hoping she'd see us and be like, hey, guys, we went to school with her. We were too shy, didn't think we were cool enough to knock on the door. She invited us in. She had a brother, older, named Steven. He was kind of, he was Steve. I'll just say that. Now, I'm not saying it's bad or not. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just setting up the story. He talked, real high-pitched talk, I'll say. And light in little loafers, I guess. And he was playing Mario. And this was before Christmas 86. I don't know how he had it. He must have had some money. But I don't think they had much money. I mean, they had chickens in their backyard. They had chickens in a neighborhood. They had chickens in their neighborhood. Chickens. But he was playing. I went home and told my mom that day, I know what I want for Christmas, Mom. I have seen it. It's called Mario. If you say Mario, I'll slap you in the face. Let's go to 1987. Jenga. Was this new or something? Jenga was the top selling toy? Get out of here. Jenga. I didn't even play that till like I was an adult. Let's move on. I got another. Trolls. Now, I remember Trolls being in like the 70s and early 80s looked a little different. But there was always, every couple of years, Trolls would pop up and be big again. It looked like a Don King. Hey, you want to play with this doll that looks like Don King? No, I don't want to play with a Don King toy. Let's go to 1989 with Game Boy. Who didn't have this? Losers didn't have it. Oh, you could get a cord. You get like a USB-like cord, but it wasn't USB, and you connect them together. You could play Tetris with your friends, or Mario Land, or whatever it was called. It was cool. It was awesome. It was like, I can play Nintendo on the go. On the freaking go. You couldn't believe it. Let's go to 1990. I don't think that's the right package. That's not the right package. Ninja Turtles. Never got into Ninja Turtles. And by the 90s, I was starting to get back into collecting as an adult. Or, I say an adult, in my early 20s. But I never got into Ninja Turtles. 1991, I did get into the Super Nintendo SNES. That's what we cool kids called it. Super Nintendo. I had a game called Super Mario All-Stars. It was like all the Mario games. It had the Lost level. The Secret Super Mario Brothers 2. So I said Super Mario Brothers. I didn't say Super Mario Bros. No, I didn't. Love this thing. Look at the design. The design is like a woman. Whew. Talkboy, 1992. Talkboy, was that much of a hit? I didn't have Talkboy. I didn't want Talkboy. I did have a Fisher Price video camera in the late 80s, but I didn't have that. Super Soaker. Now, I didn't know that was a Christmas thing. I don't want to get super soaked at Christmas time. Too cold outside. But I wouldn't have mine. We'll have one in the summer. But no, when I was little, we just had little plastic guns. I used to shoot my mouth all the time. 1994, Power Rangers. That was a weird looking Power Ranger. I didn't even know that was a Power Ranger. But there we go right there. Power Ranger. Power Ranger. Never got into Power Rangers. To me, they look like a ripoff of Space Giants. And when I look at Power Rangers, I was like, how can kids like this crap? Then I think, well, that's what my dad said when I was watching Space Giants. And I went back to try to watch Space Giants, and I think he was right. It was kind of crappy. 1995, we got, oh my God, the Beanie Baby craze. So kids wasn't buying this. Grandmas were buying this. We're going to retire, Timmy, one day on these Beanie Babies. No, you're not. No, you're not. You probably go rip them open, take the beans out, and probably get more money for them. Beanie Babies. Tickle Me Elmo. Now, this was huge. I remember I was dating my wife, and, well, by the time this came out, I never even heard of Elmo. She was like, don't you like Elmo's from Sesame Street? And I was like, who are you talking about? You talking about Grover, the monster at the end of the book, Grover? And I was like, no, we're talking about Elmo. And I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. I guess Elmo came along in the late 80s or maybe early 90s. It's before my time. I know Bert and Ernie. I know Snuffleupagus. I know that reporter with the long face. He was always one of my favorites. People were like, why do you like that? Nobody likes the human puppets. I like that guy. 1997, we've got, oh my God, I can't even talk about Chucky. I can't even say this thing. It's a little keychain. You had to feed it and everything. It looked like a lot of work. It looked like a lot of responsibility. I hated this thing. 1998, we got, oh no, there was a lot of responsibility. Furby, this thing was creepy. It looked like it was going to, let's be honest, it looked like it was going to stick something in your butthole late at night while you were sleeping. Wouldn't have this thing in my house. Wouldn't have it nowhere near me. 1999, Pokemon cards. I'm getting, my 90s were a lot different than the kids' 90s. I was buying toys. I was buying X-Men, X-Factor, so maybe some Todd McFarlane toys, or we just call them Todd toys. Probably buying some Todd toys, but wasn't buying this. Let's go on. Well, that's it. That's it. We're not. Let's just look at 2000 PlayStation 2. Kind of got that PlayStation 2. Well, that was a look at every top-selling toy, at least according to that website, from 1970 to the end of the 1990s. Well, we actually looked at the year 2000. PlayStation 2. I never had a PlayStation. I was a Nintendo guy. That's all I wanted. That's how I am. I play Nintendo. I don't want the other crap. Sure, it's better. Now you're playing with power or whatever. Well, that was Nintendo, wasn't it? But Sega, I used to hate that. I used to hate that commercial. Or, PlayStation. I used to hate that. I was a Nintendo boy. I was Lauren Hardy to my Nintendo. Well, I want to thank all the people in the chat over here. We've got Blue Harvest, Equalizer, Jordan, Jimmy, Timmy, Tommy, and Tam. We got them all in here. We got a guy named Groot. It's been a lot of fun. I want to thank you guys. Don't forget 2 videos a day, blah, blah. You know all that. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.